Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Good morning and Assalamu alaikum. On behalf of the Iqbal Institute of Policy Studies, I welcome you to our webinar titled Tourism and Hoteling Industry in Pakistan, Challenges and Way Forward. To begin with, I would like to say a few words about the institute and what it represents. It is an independent research institute with the mission to generate, track, and advocate public policies towards the achievement of sustainable development in Pakistan. It is the first think tank in the country with a sharp focus on research on all dimensions of the real estate sector. In addition to taking on projects for policy advocacy, IPS has embarked upon the concept of swift research, wherein it undertakes time-bound research and compiles a series of reports for policy and decision makers' attention. Coming to our topic, tourism is recognized as one of the key sectors of development in all countries and a major source of income, jobs, and wealth creation. It also plays a vital role in promoting the image and international perception of a country and is a key driver of economic growth consistent with the Sustainable Developmental Goals. Tourism and hospitality industry of Pakistan has experienced a strong growth in recent years, a trend which is expected to continue. Growth within the industry has been encouraged by economic prosperity in urban areas and real estate development. Pakistan, with its rich natural and cultural resources, has the potential to become one of the world's leading tourist destinations. The South Asian country has already topped several international travel lists, and according to the World Travel and Tourism Council, Pakistan's tourism sector can become a $40 billion industry within a decade. However, challenges in the social and services sector, policy design, safety and security, tourism infrastructure, and lack of an enabling environment have led to a weak competitive position for Pakistan. Therefore, Pakistan must develop intelligent policies and seek their effective implementation to revitalize its tourism and hospitality sector. We are fortunate to have eminent panelists from diverse backgrounds who are considered specialists in their respective professions. Our first panelist is Mr. Aftabur Rahman Rana. He has more than 35 years of experience in the tourism industry and is currently serving as the Managing Director of PTDC. He is also the founder of Sustainable Tourism Movement in Pakistan and a Fellow of Leadership for Environment and Development. Previously, he has served as the Director General of Adventure Foundation Pakistan as Senior Tourism Promotion Officer at TDCP. He has also worked with World Bank, USAID, and Asian Development Bank as Tourism Development Consultant. He is also the winner of a number of international and national awards in the field of tourism. He will speak on the topic, Potential and Challenges of Tourism Industry in Pakistan. We also have with us Mr. Irshad B. Anjum. He is the Director of Operations at Faleti Hotels. He has more than 40 years of experience in the hotel management, ranging from boutique to full-service hotels. He is known for his hospitality and leadership skills as he has been an integral part of the Hashu Group and had the honor of shaping the success stories of Pearl Continental Hotels and Resorts while serving at the posts of Regional Vice President Operations North and then Director Operations Pakistan. He will speak on the topic, Importance of Hotels in Promotion of Tourism. We also have with us Ms. Mumna Rizwan, who is the Head of Leasing and Brands at Imarat Group, Pakistan's largest commercial, residential, and hospitality conglomerate. She is a certified marketing and data science professional skilled in digital and analytics platforms. She has worked as a consultant for digital transformation for Prime Minister of Pakistan, Ministry of Overseas Pakistanis and Human Resource Development, National Tourism Board, and PTDC. Her experience in the public and private sector makes her an expert in marketing, business development, and client management. She will speak on the topic, Role of Real Estate Development and Promotion of Tourism. Finally, we have with us Mr. Dr. Shujat Ali, who is a retired civil servant and has held many important appointments, including Special Secretary of Finance and Secretary Industries, Commerce and Investments. He has also served as a board member of several prestigious public and private companies like NBP, UBL, Saudi Park Real Estate Company. He will speak on the topic, Importance of Urban Planning in Effective Governance. We also have with us Lieutenant General retired Muhammad Harun Aslam, who is a veteran with more than 40 years of experience in the armed forces of Pakistan and more than 8 years of experience in the private sector. He is the president of IIPS Advisory Board, and I welcome you, sir. It is an honor for us to host you. As regards with the conduct of the webinar, each participant will speak on a particular topic for 20 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes. After the round of speech by all participants, we will have a general discussion and Q&A session. Now, I would like to request Lieutenant General Harun Aslam to open the webinar with his introductory remarks.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, and all the listeners who are watching us. Thank you very much for your time, panelists. It is an eminent group of panelists, and I'm sure that we will be able to bring out certain recommendations, finally, conclusions and recommendations, so that we badly need to, give a boost to our tourism industry. A lot is being done, but lot needs to be done. यहाँ मैं ये बात एक और भी बताता चलूं कि हमारे यहाँ ये कोई कैद नहीं है कि आप इंग्लिश में बोलें, आप इंग्लिश उर्दू दोनों इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं, बल्कि हमारे बाद वेबिनार्स में तो पंजाबी भी इस्तेमाल होती है, रीजनल लैंग्वेजेस भी. तो this is just the few tips I would like to give. Please commence, Umar. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I would like to request Mr. Aftabur Rahman Rana to the stage. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Umar, for this detailed introduction, and thank you very much, General Harun, for inviting me in this very important webinar. And I hope in today's discussion, we will find out some good recommendations which will be useful for the promotion of tourism sector and especially the hospitality sector. I have prepared a presentation which I would like to share on my screen, and accordingly I'll move on, and later on I can have a question and answers as well. Here we go. I hope you can see my screen properly.
Yes, sir, it's very clear.
Okay, so as the topic, I'll be talking about the potential of tourism in Pakistan as well as some challenges. And very particularly, I will talk about a very specific challenge which is hampering the tourism in Pakistan right now because of the mushroom growth taking place all over at various locations. And if you look at this map of Pakistan, which is a tourist destination map, you will understand that Pakistan is one of those countries in the world which are blessed with diverse inventory of tourism attraction. And this is based basically on the unique endowment of natural landscape feature, its biodiversity and rich cultural heritage. And almost all the provincial areas have something unique in their own territories, which could become a huge tourist attraction to invite tourists from all around the world and from the domestic market as well. If we look at the landscape aspect of Pakistan, Pakistan's northern part is a place where we have great mountain ranges meeting together. And this is a place where we have 5 peaks over 8,000 meters and more than 100 peaks over 7,000 meters. And this kind of mountain grandeur is not available anywhere else on the earth, and Pakistan is unique in that. Not only that, we also have one of the longest glaciers in Pakistan. Not rather one of, there are 5,000 glaciers all over in the northern territories. And all this glaciated region, which is unique out of the polar regions in the world, is a great place for adventure tourism, which include mountaineering, trekking, skiing, river rafting, rock climbing, ice climbing, and various other new extreme adventure sports. So lots of potential available in our mountain areas for the promotion of adventure tourism. When we descend down from the high mountains, there are very interesting landscape of beautiful valleys along the Karakoram mountains like this. And when we travel on Karakoram highway, descending down from the Chinese border at Punjab, we reach to the places which are the lower Himalayas and the Hindu Kush mountains and Dir Kostan, in Sawat Kostan, and in Kagan Valley, where there's the lush green meadows and pastures and thick forest, and a number of interesting and beautiful lakes which could be developed as tourist resorts. And only few of these lakes are still accessible, and many lakes are only accessible by foot. And if we look at the history side, we can say Pakistan is unique in terms of the place which has more or less 9,000 years of human history, starting from Mehergarh. While the Mehergarh is one of the earliest farming settlement in Southeast Asia, and it's located in the Balochistan province. And then we have Mohenjo-daro, which has a history of about 5,000 years of humankind, and most developed civilization of its time remains are there right now to explore by the tourists. The other places of Hindu religion available almost all over the country in different provinces, and they have their own value in terms of sacred sites for Hindu religion as well as for heritage tourism promotion. And one of the unique aspect is the Gandhara area, which is from the Peshawar to the lower Swat area and touching on this side up to the text line even down. This place is basically the place from where the Mahayana Buddhism originated, which is these days mostly practiced in China, in Korea, in Japan, and many other far eastern countries. So there are millions of Buddhist, Mahayana Buddhist followers who could be easily attracted to visit this Gandhara region in Pakistan. In terms of urban tourism, Pakistan has some of the most beautiful cities in the world, like Peshawar is considered one of the oldest living city in Southeast Asia. And this has its own culture and beauty and, you know, lots of different attractions in terms of its living, culture and history available with us. Punjab, the Lahore city is basically hub of Mughal era heritage sites. Also, there are set sites of British Raj and many other later dynasties. It could become a kind of a heart of culture tourism in Pakistan with proper planning and development policy making. This is also the region from where the Sikh religion originated, and there are very nice intact gurdwaras available to promote Sikh heritage and religious tourism in Pakistan. The Sindh is famous as the land of Sufis and Shains, has various sites of historical and cultural aspect, as well as a number of shrines of Sufi Shains available in this area. And in between, there's the desert of Cholistan and Tharparkar, which has its own culture, its beauty, and its living aspect of the Cholistani people and Thari people, which is very, very attractive for the Western tourists as well. Descending down towards south, there's a huge Makaran coast, more than 750 kilometers long, which has the rocky terrain on one side and beautiful golden sandy beaches on the other side. So great potential available for the promotion of marine tourism in Pakistan, which is almost unexplored so far. The most important aspect of Pakistan tourism is its living culture. The more than 74 languages are spoken in Pakistan. And when you're traveling in Pakistan from north to south or south to north, you can find that every 70 to 80 kilometers, there's a change of culture, there's a change of faces, there's a change of cuisine. So great diversity of cultural aspect is available for tourists to explore in this country. And one of these living culture, we have ancient people of Kailasha who live in 3 valleys in the Chitral district. And they are one of the oldest indigenous people who are still following their thousands of years old religion and traditions and customs. As Pakistan is unique in landscape diversity, so it is unique in its eco-regions as well. We have 9 eco-regions from alpine zone at the top to the marine zone at the Arabian Sea. So there's a great diversity of wildlife available to promote ecotourism and to promote wildlife-based tourism, as most of the African countries are doing these days. The Pakistani food and cuisine is so rich and available in abundance everywhere. People love to have, the great variety of food available all around in Pakistan. Same is the case with the handicrafts. Is a very, very rich country where in every town, in city, and village, people are producing very attractive and colorful handicrafts, which people buy, especially the tourists when they go back. They take these products as souvenirs for their family and their friends. Although the cricket is a game of passion for Pakistan, but we also play lots of other traditional games like polo, the wrestling, the tent pegging, the camel dancing, and the bull race, and the many other. So they are all played in its most regional form, and they are also kind of a tourist attraction. And one of the highest polo field is available at the border of KP and Gilgit-Baltistan, which is called Shandu. And every year in July, there's a big festival where thousands of people come to watch the game of polo in its most regional form, which is played at Shandu tournament. Capital city of Islamabad has its own charm. It's a modern capital, one of the most beautiful capital, and it's a great gateway for tourism to all over Pakistan. And based on all this tourism which we have in Pakistan, I've just shown you a glimpse of that. We cannot just promote one or two kind of tourism in Pakistan. Rather, we have opportunity to promote various segments like the recreation, the adventure, the culture, the religious tourism, the sports, the eco-tourism, wellness and health tourism, education and conferences, agri-tourism, shopping tourism, business, youth, and many, many more. So it's a very, very diverse products available with us, which can be promoted based on the rich potential we have. Over the years, the tourism is growing quite rapidly in Pakistan. In 2014, we had almost 1.5 million tourists traveling within country in 1 year, which has now already crossed the figure of 6.6 million in 2018. Although the largest portion of this tourist is the Pakistani domestic market, which is almost 96%, and only 4% is the foreign tourist market, which so far we have. So we need to do quite a lot of effort to develop more foreign tourism in Pakistan. If we look at the overall impact of this tourism so far we have, Pakistan tourism industry is contributing something about 5.9% in the total GDP of Pakistan economy, and more or less 2,285 billion rupees annually it's contributing in the revenue of the country. There are more than 3.9 million people who are involved in tourism sector in terms of jobs. Half of this is the direct and half of this is almost indirect. And we are making something about 852 million US dollar from foreign tourism in Pakistan. So although Pakistan tourism industry is not as developed as in many other countries, but still it's handsomely contributing in the national economy, in the employment creation, and also in foreign exchange earning for the country. Recently, the government has taken various steps to develop tourism on modern line, and the government in last 3 years have done quite a remarkable projects in Pakistan in terms of developing National Tourism Coordination Board, restructuring PTDC, introducing e-visa for 191 countries, developing a national tourism strategy for 10 years, introducing integrated tourism plan for new destinations in various provinces, tourism brand, which is just ready to be launched to promote Pakistan abroad as a tourist destination. A national minimum standard document has already been prepared and ready to be launched. An e-portal to promote tourism and provide up-to-date information is ready to be launched. And Skardu Airport has been upgraded as an international airport. PTDC, which is the National Tourism Organization, is going to privatize all its tourism motels all over the country to private sector to upgrade them to the level of 3 and 4 star level. So all these steps are, some have been already done and some are in the final stages. So tourism has now a great potential in this country. And if the present efforts continue, I hope in next 2 to 3 years, its contribution will further increase in the overall national economy. CPAC, which is linking Pakistan through a great road network, I'm sure is going to open lots of new opportunities for the development of hospitality sector, because all along this new highway, there are new tourism zones which have been created where the new infrastructure will be required, and huge private sector investment will come in to develop the facilities in that. Now, the second part, I would like to talk about the challenge which we are facing right now. Although on one side, we are moving on a fast-paced growth, but as they say, tourism is like fire. You can cook your food on it, but if you're not careful, it can burn your house down. So the specific challenge which I'm going to share with you is tourism's own impact on the natural environment, because natural environment is something which is basically the basic element on which tourism is based. So what is happening, the huge increase in the tourism flow to the various sites have been observed over the last few years. So the tourism flow is increasing very rapidly. And we have seen the overcrowding at tourist sites. Like this is the condition of Safa Maluk sometime during summer days when there are thousands of tourists going there every day to see the lake. So this phenomena is also impacting rapidly on the natural environment, which basically attract tourists to these areas. For example, on the Murray Hills, there used to be mystic forests like this. The jungles, they have been vanished. And now there's the jungles of concrete. There are huge infrastructures coming up, and mostly the boarding and lodging, the hotel facilities, which have been added over the years without realizing the natural landscape, the beauty, and also the aspect of environment in these areas. The landscape of valleys are under threat, and there's a now uncontrolled mushroom growth development of infrastructure and hotel industries going on without any check at various places. Like this is the photo of Naran, which was not like this a few years back. This is the kind of infrastructure which is self-designed, the water supply lines, the sewage mixed up in the natural water courses, which is damaging the environment of these areas, and the dumping of solid waste into the rivers by the hotels and the shops and all the facilities of tourism in these areas. It's all need now very, very careful assessment and development to manage all these aspects. And this, you see the condition of Swat, which is rapidly changing these days. The skyscraper hotels, the buildings coming up everywhere. Swat has been famous as a Switzerland of Asia. But where is Switzerland in this landscape? You can see this is Bahrain, which was a nice green spot in the past, but now it's all a concrete jungle again. So if it's Switzerland, it must have been like this. So we have not taken care of our landscape, of our the natural heritage. So things are going on such a rapid pace, which are damaging the very base of tourism in Pakistan. The lakes like Safa Maluk was like this many years ago when I used to go for trekking in my school and college days. But now this condition is like this. So it's a big challenge for us. Even the high mountains like K2 are never spared, and there's now a waste dumping sites like this. The expeditions going there are dumping waste at the various base camps and the camping sites. And the heritage sites are even facing the same conditions and all that. And the wildlife, which we haven't so far worked out how we can promote it for ecotourism, but indiscriminate killing is ultimately will create such an impact that all the wildlife will be vanished by the time we'll wake up. Yeah, we are just finishing. That's the last slide. So I want to emphasize that we need to now focus more on the sustainable model of tourism in which we could do development for the present tourist and host communities, but we should also keep in mind that tourism should go on for the longer period of time, and it should provide opportunities for the future as well. So this model we need to follow, and we need to create a balance in that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your discussion. You have highlighted the vast potential of tourism in Pakistan, be it religious, heritage, urban tourism, or tourism related to different cultures, languages, and the biodiversity. And you highlighted a very important point that we do not need to promote only one or two areas of tourism. Rather, we can promote tourism in multiple areas, which you also provided a list of. And you also shared some interesting numbers regarding the tourism sector of Pakistan and its contribution to our GDP and employment and jobs. You also shared what the government has done regarding promoting tourism and the past 3 years, which is a very good outlook. But you also highlighted some of the challenges associated with the sector, such as the environmental challenges, the uncontrolled and unplanned development of infrastructure, and the unfortunate issue of waste generation in tourist areas. Thank you for your time, sir. I would like to now request our second speaker, Mr. Irshad B. Anjum, to speak on the topic of importance of hotels in promotion of tourism. Over to you, sir.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum to everybody. By the grace of Almighty Allah, we are doing the best in Pakistan right now. Lahore, Karachi, and Islamabad, they were sold out last year. Things are back now. तो अल्लाह का शुक्र है कि हम कोविड से हमारी जान छूटी, लेकिन फिर भी पाकिस्तान एक वाहिद कंट्री था जहाँ के डेथ की रेशो बड़ी कम थी और टोटल डेथ जो हुई है वो तकरीबन 6.2 मिलियन हुई है. पाकिस्तान रेशो वाज 30th. 30,000 की डेथ हुई है पाकिस्तान में कोविड की वजह से, लेकिन उससे बिजनेस काफ़ी हर्ट हुआ है. लेकिन बाय द ग्रेस ऑलमाइटी अल्लाह, नाउ थिंग्स आर गेटिंग बेटर. यू वोंट गेट रूम एनीवेयर. अभी बड़ी खूबसूरत बातें की हैं, बड़ी अच्छी उन्होंने वैलीज वगैरह हमें दिखाई हैं. तो मेरी यही रिक्वेस्ट है कि पीटीडीसी के पास जितने भी होटल में गवर्नमेंट का काम नहीं है होटल चलाना, let somebody else run the hotel like a private sector. अब फ्लैश में की छोटी सी बात करता हूँ. You go and have a look that hotel. अब और भी काफ़ी टूरिज्म के होटल्स हैं. मेरे ख्याल में कुछ चाहिए कि इन्वेस्टर को अपना प्राइवेट सेक्टर को दें. Let them run those hotel like 3 to 4 star. क्योंकि 2025 में हम एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे हैं, प्रिडिक्ट कर रहे हैं कि हमारी पाकिस्तानी की इकॉनमी कम से कम $6.2 बिलियन ऐड होंगे. इट कम टू अबाउट 1 ट्रिलियन रुपीस ऐड होंगे. और मेरे ख्याल में माशाल्लाह थिंग्स आर गेटिंग बेटर. डैश गर्दिंग पाकिस्तान में ख़त्म हो गई है. आई थिंक पाकिस्तान इज द सेफेस्ट कंट्री ऑफ द वर्ल्ड राइट नाउ. एंड हमारे होटल फुल जा रहे हैं, बिजनेस वगैरह आ रहा है. तो अभी देखें दुबई ने बड़ा अच्छा काम किया. पहले 60 डेज का वीज़ा था, अब उन्होंने टूरिस्ट वीज़ा 60 डेज का कर दिया है. इस किस्म की हमें भी सहूलतें देनी चाहिए. हमारी जितनी भी एम्बेसीज हैं उनको चाहिए कि रिस्ट्रिक्शन थोड़ी सी ईज रिस्ट्रिक्शन करें ट्रैवल्स के लिए. लोग 2-3 महीने के लिए वीज़ा लोग अप्लाई करते हैं, उनको 2-3 महीने वेट करना पड़ता है. आई थिंक दे शुड गिव द वीज़ा नेक्स्ट 72 आवर्स वीज़ा दे देना चाहिए ताकि ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा लोग पाकिस्तान में आए. कुछ जितने लोग हमारे पाकिस्तान में आएंगे उतनी ही डॉलर हमारा मुल्क में आएगा, उतनी हमारे मुल्क में खुशहाली होगी. और मैं अभी बड़ी खूबसूरत बातें की हैं रिगार्डिंग स्वात. अभी मैं स्विट्जरलैंड गया हुआ था 2 साल पहले. मेरे ख्याल में हमारी स्वात वैली, चतराल, कागान, नगान इज बेटर देन स्विट्जरलैंड और नॉट दैट एक्सपेंसिव. अभी लास्ट ईयर ही मैं नोट कर रहा था तकरीबन 4 मिलियन हमारे डोमेस्टिक टूरिस्ट जो कि स्वात गए हैं, कागान गए हैं, नारान गए हैं. तो हमारा पाकिस्तानी डोमेस्टिक टूरिस्ट बहुत ज़्यादा है. अब माशाल्लाह रोड्स आर गुड नाउ बट हैज़ टू बी बेटर नाउ, क्योंकि अभी भी कोई लैंडस्लाइड वगैरह आ जाती हैं, काफ़ी इशू जाते हैं, लोग फंस जाते हैं. फिर इस गवर्नमेंट ने बड़ा अच्छा एक्शन लिया है जो कि स्कर्दू को उन्होंने इंटरनेशनल एयरपोर्ट बना दिया है. अब लाहौर से बाई लोग जा सकते हैं, कराची से बाई जा सकते हैं, इस्लामाबाद भी जा सकते हैं. तो गवर्नमेंट को चाहिए इस किस्म की चीज़ें करे ताकि जो हमारे डोमेस्टिक टूरिस्ट है, फॉरेन तो है ही है, हमारा डोमेस्टिक टूरिस्ट भी इसको एंजॉय करें. और मैं ये देख रहा हूँ कि नॉर्दर्न एरिया में इतनी हमारे पास लैंड पड़ी हुई है, तो हम ये चाहेंगे होटलियर कि जो एरिया है प्राइवेट सेक्टर को दें लीज के ऊपर ताकि हम वहाँ होटल बनाएं. जितने ज़्यादा होटल्स वहाँ बनेंगे उस फ़ायदा ये हुआ कि जो हमारी लोकल लोग हैं उनको रोज़गार मिलेगा, टैक्सी वाले को रोज़गार मिलेगा. दे गेट द जॉब ओवर देयर. इसमें गवर्नमेंट को ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा इंटरेस्ट लेना चाहिए. अब लाहौर देख कितने होटल आ गए, अभी भी होटल शॉर्ट पड़ रहे हैं. कराची में होटल आ गए हैं, इस्लामाबाद में होटल आ गए हैं, अभी भी शॉर्ट पड़ रहे हैं. अभी देखिए हमारा वी आर बिजी November, December, January, February, March, hard to get a room in these big hotels. तो प्राइवेट सेक्टर आना चाह रहे हैं, फॉरेन इन्वेस्टर भी आना चाह रहे हैं. तो मेरे ख्याल पाकिस्तानी गवर्नमेंट को चाहिए कि फॉरेन इन्वेस्टर को उनको कुछ सहूलतें दें, कुछ फैसिलिटीज़ दें कि ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा लोग बाहर से आएँ और पाकिस्तान में आके इन्वेस्टमेंट करें। और दूसरा ये है कि हमारी होटल इंडस्ट्री में सबसे ज़्यादा इशू आता है ह्यूमन रिसोर्स का। द रीज़न इज़ कि कोई यूनिवर्सिटी नहीं है पाकिस्तान के अंदर। हमारे पास मेडिकल यूनिवर्सिटी है, इंजीनियरिंग यूनिवर्सिटी है, एग्रीकल्चर यूनिवर्सिटी है, नॉट ए सिंगल होटल यूनिवर्सिटी इन पाकिस्तान। हमें बच्चे बाहर भेजने पड़ते हैं, कोई स्विट्जरलैंड पढ़ने जा रहा है, कोई सिंगापुर पढ़ने जा रहा है, कोई अमेरिका पढ़ने जा रहा है। इससे हमारा काफ़ी ज़्यादा ज़र मुबादला ज़ाया होता है। अभी काफ़ी देखे हमारे होटल्स पाकिस्तान में, शेफ गोरा और जीआर मैनेजर गोरा, पीछे और देखे गोरा जी के बैठा हुआ है। आर दे थिंक दे आर बेटर देन अस? नो, वी कैन डू बेटर जॉब देन द गोरास। बट हमारे पाकिस्तान में कोई यूनिवर्सिटी नहीं है जहाँ के हम डिपार्टमेंट हेड, एग्जेक्टिव शेफ, जीएम लेवल के लोग हम जाके वहाँ तैयार करें। और होटल को भी एक इंडस्ट्री का दर्जा देना चाहिए। अब मैं चंद दिन पहले ननकाना साहब गया था, दिस नॉट गुड होटल इन ननकाना साहब। अब जितने भी हमारे सिक्स वगैरह आते हैं, लंदन से आते हैं, कनाडा से आते हैं, अमेरिका से आते हैं, दे आर स्टेइंग इन लाहौर or they're staying in Faisalabad, but you can't see a single nice hotel in Nankana Sahib. एक छोटा टूरिज्म का होटल है, एज आई सेड टूरिज्म का काम नहीं गवर्नमेंट का होटल चलाना, जो प्राइवेट सेक्टर का काम है। कोई लैंड दे किसी को, पीपल लव टू बिल्ड ए होटल इन ननकाना साहब, ताकि हमारे जो बाहर से टूरिस्ट आते हैं, ये सिक्स वेयर आते हैं, उनको फैसिलिटीज मिले। इंस्टेड ऑफ स्टेइंग इन लाहौर 2 घंटे की ड्राइव करके जाएं, 2 घंटे की ड्राइव करके आए, आई थिंक दिस शुड बी होटल ओवर देयर आल्सो। और माशाल्लाह होटल्स आर डूइंग गुड। अब लोग कहते हैं कि सर्विस का तल्लक है, I think we are giving better service compared to any other hotel in the world. अब हमारे इतना भी स्टाफ काम करता है, they are well educated, अच्छी इंग्लिश बोलते हैं, अच्छी बातें करते हैं, अच्छी सर्विस देते हैं कि लोगों के अंदर इंप्रेशन है यार पाकिस्तान में जाएंगे, होटल 2-3 स्टार होंगे, उनके अंदर इंप्रेशन है कि यार स्टाफ इंग्लिश बोल सकता है, नहीं बोलता होगा, किस किस के मेन्यू होंगे। माशाल्लाह जितने भी हमारे 4 to 5 स्टार होटल है, दे गेट द बेस्ट मेन्यू, देखा इंटरनेशनल लेवल के मेन्यू हैं, चाइनीज़ हैं, पाकिस्तानी हैं, सब कुछ है। तो अब सिर्फ यही है कि हमारी गवर्नमेंट को यही चाहिए कि जो वीज़ा पॉलिसी है उसमें रिलैक्सेशन पैदा करे। जितनी भी हमारी एम्बेसीज हैं उनके पास टूरिस्ट डेस्टिनेशन के काफ़ी फ्लाईओवर होना चाहिए, तो पता चले कि क्या देखना है पाकिस्तान में। लेकिन लाहौर इज़ हार्ट ऑफ पाकिस्तान, लाहौर इज़ अ बिग हिस्टोरिकल सिटी। लाहौर में क्या नहीं है? फिर नॉर्दर्न एरिया जो हमारा है क्या नहीं है? एवरीथिंग अवेलेबल नादर एरिया। अभी हमारे जो एमडी साहब बता रहे थे, हमें आप नादर एरिया में जाएं, इस स्विट्जरलैंड के सामने कुछ भी नहीं है, नारान, चतराल, कागान, ये है। अब माशाल्लाह हमारा डोमेस्टिक टूरिस्ट बहुत ज़्यादा एजुकेटेड हो गया है, दे लव टू गो दिस काइंड ऑफ प्लेसेस। अब इतने अच्छे होटल नहीं है उस एरिया के अंदर। तो जैसे मैंने पहले कहा कि अगर गवर्नमेंट हमें लीज पे जगह दे तो प्राइवेट सेक्टर इन्वॉल्व हो जाएंगे, अच्छे खूबसूरत होटल बनाएंगे। रोड्स जैसे रोड्स हैं वो भी थोड़ा सा कम्युनिकेशन इशू है, वो भी इंशाल्लाह ताला अल्लाह करे कि अभी नई हमारी गवर्नमेंट आ गई है, वो पेल नहीं इसको रिजॉल्व करे। पहले मरी में जाके देखें 2-2.5 घंटे लगते थे इस्लामाबाद मरी जाने में, अब जब से मरी एक्सप्रेस वे बनी है तो 1 घंटे में अपना पहुंच जाते हैं, वहाँ पहुंच जाते हैं, अपना मरी पहुंच जाते हैं। ऐसे ही एबटाबाद जाना हो, अपने नारायण कागान जाना हो, काफ़ी रोड्स वगैरह बन गई हैं। तो गवर्नमेंट को ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा इसमें इन्वॉल्व होना पड़ेगा। अभी देखिए मरी में क्या हुआ, कितना रश पड़ा हुआ था, गवर्नमेंट वाज अनेबल टू कंट्रोल इट। तो हमारे जो टूरिस्ट बेचारे जाते हैं उनका बड़ा लिमिटेड बजट सा होता है, तो एक बजट अपना लेके जाते हैं। तो होटल को गवर्नमेंट को चाहिए कि होटल्स को कंट्रोल करें, अनलिमिटेड किराया चार्ज ना करें। ये अब जैसे आप जाएंगे अपना अभी देखें अभी जून, जुलाई, अगस्त, सितंबर सारे होटल कीमतें बढ़ा देंगे, फिर ऐसे बर्फबारी होगी सारे होटल कीमतें बढ़ा देंगे। तो रेट शुड बी अंडर द कंट्रोल ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट। उनको चाहिए कि इनको कंट्रोल करें, जो क्योंकि टूरिस्ट एक लिमिटेड सा बजट लेके आता है जो कि उसने स्पेंड करना होता है। अगर इतने रोड बढ़ाना शुरू कर देंगे हमारे अपना जो रिजॉर्ट एरिया वाले, बट वट पीपल विल गो स्टार्ट गोइंग आउट, दुबई चले जाएंगे, अपना बैंकॉक चले जाएंगे, अमेरिका चले जाएंगे, यूरोपियन कंट्री चले जाएंगे। हमें चाहिए कि ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा सहूलतें दें अपने डोमेस्टिक टूरिस्ट को और माइग्रेंट टूरिस्ट को, ताकि पाकिस्तान में लोग आए, एंजॉय करें। कुछ जितना फॉरेन टूरिस्ट हमारे पाकिस्तान में आएगा उतने हमारे मुल्क में खुशहाली आएगी, हमारे मुल्क में लोगों को रोज़गार मिलेगा। और बस मैं यही कहूँगा कि अब देखें माशाल्लाह 20 से पहले चल जाए कितना पाकिस्तान में टूरिस्ट आ रहा था, एकदम कोविड की वजह से ब्लॉक लग गया। इंशाअल्लाह ब्लॉक टूट रहा है, things are getting better now. और बस मैं यही कहूँगा, thank you very much. I think we should once a month we should get together, we should discuss on it. और we got a beautiful hotel in Pakistan, we need more hotels. और मैं यही है कि मतलब एक अच्छा हमने ग्रुप बनाया है, हम छोटे मोटे इशू डिस्कस कर सके, होटल में क्या फेस कर रहे हैं. यूनिवर्सिटी इज मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट इन पाकिस्तान. टोटल यूनिवर्सिटी हमारे पास होनी चाहिए ताकि हमारा डॉलर हमारा बाहर ना जाए. थैंक यू.
थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू. आपने बात की कि कोविड-19 के इम्पैक्ट की पाकिस्तान के ऊपर, कि हमारा टूरिज्म सेक्टर हैज़ रीगेन्ड इट्स पीक परफॉर्मेंस, और आपने प्राइवेट सेक्टर की रोल की बात की होटलिंग इंडस्ट्री के अंदर, कि प्राइवेट सेक्टर को, गवर्नमेंट को चाहिए कि उनको लैंड लीज करे ताकि वो अच्छी टूरिस्ट डेस्टिनेशंस में वर्ल्ड क्लास होटल्स बना सकें. आपने डोमेस्टिक टूरिज्म की बात की कि हमारा डोमेस्टिक टूरिज्म ज़्यादा है और इंटरनेशनल टूरिज्म कंपैरेटिवली कम है, जिसके लिए गवर्नमेंट को चाहिए कि वो ट्रैवल को, ईज ऑफ ट्रैवल के लिए कुछ इकदाम ले. एक बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट चीज़ सर जो आपने हाईलाइट की, वो है यूनिवर्सिटी एंड एजुकेशन, के पाकिस्तान के अंदर होटलिंग इंडस्ट्री और टूरिज्म से रिलेटेड कोई प्रॉपर यूनिवर्सिटी नहीं है और प्रॉपर एजुकेशन नहीं है. मोस्ट ऑफ आवर गुड रिसोर्स, ह्यूमन रिसोर्स इज फ्रॉम अब्रॉड. फाइनली सर, यू टॉक्ड अबाउट रेगुलेशन, के होटलिंग इंडस्ट्री जो है पाकिस्तान में, उसकी प्राइसेस और उनकी डिफरेंट एरियाज के अंदर गवर्नमेंट रेगुलेशन लैक है. पाकिस्तान रिक्वायर्स दिस regulation on part of the government. And thank you, sir. Thank you for your talk. I would just like to request, move on to our next speaker and request Ms. Momna Rizwan to speak on the topic, role of real estate development in promotion of tourism. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Umar. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, yes, you're audible.
Thank you, General Haroon, sir, for making me part of such an august panel. It's great learning to be here with everyone. I'll just put in my 2 cents, not as long, won't take as long as everyone else because I feel I have more to learn here. So when we're talking about travel and tourism, we see that 10.4%, 10.5%, that's the global GDP share. In Pakistan also, that's around 6% also. And when we're talking real estate in tourism, I'll just like to define the palette that we're looking at initially. We are, starting from a simple kiosk at an airport to a mega airport, to a mega luxury resort structure. Real estate is one of the key drivers when it comes to development of tourism and service provision, which is the cornerstone of all tourism. Very fortunate to have worked with both policy making and as a private entity. So I like to address a few concerns from both sides. If we go back to let's just say 2020, if we only consider the Marriott Group's expansion plans globally, it had the most expansive expansion plans we could have seen. Like 145 new resorts and luxury hotels across the world. Pakistan again is a huge potential market. Like Irshad Saab rightly mentioned, that our hotel bookings have been crazy, and you cannot find a good hotel room in Lahore, Karachi, and Islamabad when you're traveling. That's the case it was, but then we saw COVID hitting, and our plans obviously changed because hotel industry losing just 100 million in revenue in just first 3 months of COVID. Made a lot of changes in our development plans. Now, coming back to where, it leaves the real estate development. The worst hit probably were the small and medium businesses, the smaller hotels, the ones that were in progress. One of the things that we saw that was a positive step from the government at that point was a bailout package for the construction industry. And also a tourism rebate, a tourism tax rebate for a year. Now, this is something that we would like to see for at least another 2 to 3 years. when we're talking about tourism, we have seen globally that in the past 3 years, we have seen two different kinds of case studies. One is the Sri Lanka model that completely collapsed because of, what COVID did to them. And one is the Dubai model that was able to sustain despite, huge investments going into Expo 2020. Now, again, if you're looking at Sri Lanka model, the things that we have to learn here is our reliance cannot solely be on international tourism. While of course, we have to improve our visa policies and inbound tourism, our focus has to be relying on domestic tourism, and especially encouraging overseas Pakistanis and the amount of remittances and capital they can invest in our tourism sector. Now, moving on from there, we saw that it was expected that PIA would go bankrupt in within a period of 2 years. Where does it leave us as a real estate developer? Real estate developers would like to see some sort of an accelerated recovery program from the government, which would include capital investment, which would include some kind of specialized packages, early bird packages, because where the development was left in 2020, we still have seen that it hasn't moved forward in a huge way. Integrated tourism zones are something that the government has been working on, but we are yet to see the impact of that policy. So integrated tourism development, again, is a more sustainable model that we would like to see as a developer and asking the government. Then marketing the product. We have seen that Pakistan's tourism marketing has seen a huge boost over the past 3-4 years. And, from Bloomberg to New York Times to British Backpacker Society, everybody's been talking about how amazing Pakistan is as a destination. But again, since COVID has come in, and especially in the past 1 year, we've seen that marketing graph to have gone down. Now, marketing is something that would, marketing our tourism product and our development in tourism real estate would increase its equity. We have to remember that when there is a crisis, we market more, not less. So that is something that we have to focus on. And government should be more proactive in launching finally the brand Pakistan that has been in the working for the past many years. Again, something that will help real estate development. Now we know that Pakistan is a AAA rated market as far as Marriott's rating is concerned. For Pakistan, the overall potential is greater than the city of Dubai in Pakistan for developing and profits from a hotel. But when we look at enabling those decisions and enabling that development, there is a huge gap between policy and the execution. What we want to see, in fact, is NCOC style decision making, where government takes this on a fast track mode and gives us decisions on a weekly or a monthly model, where it's taken as an emergency. If it's such a huge developer and we all agree that it's a major developer in our economy, why not take it as that? And if we can have a consensus over COVID and other issues, why not have one for something that directly impacts our people, directly creates job. Again, another year or at least 5 years of tax-free package is something that we would really want to see. Now, something that real estate developers, Emarat Group as an entity, and something that we can focus on as on a national level is residential tourism. Residential tourism is something that as a contrast to short-term tourism and hotels and Airbnb models, residential tourism is something that we can focus on, and we have to look at the more sustainable approach of providing jobs over the years. So this is something that, especially as an enabler, residential tourism helps us, more in terms of F&B and retail growth as well. And this is something that we have seen in Costa Rica, some places in Europe, where this has greatly impacted an overall long-term growth in tourism. Pakistan's, like Aftab Sahab mentioned, that there is a holistic plan of tourism development. One thing that private entities as a hotel developer, as a residential tourism developer, would want to see is to avoid that mushroom growth. Government support would be highly appreciated as a Pakistan's future model for where we see our tourism zones. The way we have provided details of our integrated tourism zones across KP, replicating that across Pakistan is something that, that would really help real estate development. Another aspect that we could look at is trail-based development. We have seen that Buddhist trail, Sikh trail, and then the science trail, which with the Al-Biruni circuit and the Nandana fort and all, these could be three major development areas where we are, there's a sustainable, even on the onset of it, when you look at it, it's a very sustainable model. Things would keep growing over the years. Religious tourism is not going anywhere, no matter what happens. Even if there's a calamity like COVID or anything else, that is there to stay. That is a plan that real estate can greatly play a part in. And, if the government is keen enough to provide us with spots there, with the right opportunity there, with faster decision-making there, like mentioned by Arshad Saab, it is not, again, very rightly, it is not government's job to run a hotel. It should be the role of a specialist, a private entity, and faster legislation, faster legal loophole resolution from the WTTC resorts will also help us, make the development faster. Marriott has plans of expanding across Pakistan. They're looking at 25 new hospitality projects. PTDC could be overlapping with many of them. Private entities are more than happy. We would be rather very excited to work across those. And as also bring retail, food and beverage, hospitality, leisure, those kind of experiences to areas where never seen before. But again, faster decision-making would really help us grow in that way. I think that mostly covers everything. The skill development is one thing that we have discussed so far, and that is rightly there. Hotel industry skill development, yes, that is one feature, but we also need to look at the adventure tourism skill development. If we look at our GB area and the up north where we have the mountain tourism, Pakistan has the most number of peaks that a mountaineer wants to climb over a period of his lifetime, but we have not even the number. The number of our mountain guides don't even come close to the number of Nepali Sherpas. That is something that we have to look at. There's a huge demand and supply gap there. And again, development of an institute in the north, accompanied, of course, by private sector. Private sector is ready to invest. Even though there are not many, bank lending options available in Pakistan. The ticket size is very small when you look at development of a luxury resort. But, private sector is still willing to accept, and real estate developers are willing to, invest in it as long as we have support and we have, regime changes don't make any difference. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Momna, for that interesting discussion. You highlighted real estate as a key driver for tourism sector. And you gave a number of very good suggestions for developing the tourism industry in Pakistan. You highlighted the importance of domestic tourism. You talked about an accelerated recovery program. You talked about the construction bailout package given by the previous government and the tourism tax rebate. And yes, you talked about that these initiatives have to carry on for the next 2, 3 years for the sector to grow. You also talked about the importance of tourism marketing. You talked about building the brand Pakistan. And the most important aspect of your discussion was you highlighted that there needs to be NCOC style decision making regarding the potential of tourism, as decisions need to be made on a timely basis, and Pakistan needs to provide that regulatory support to private sector so that they can develop hotels and resorts in major tourist areas of the country. Thank you, ma'am. I will now move on to our next speaker, Dr. Shujat Ali, and he will speak on the topic role of federal and provincial governments in promotion of tourism. Over to you, sir. Sir, you are on mute, sir. Please unmute yourself.
Thank you, Omar. I would like to start by thanking General Harun Aslam Saab and the Iqbal Institute of Policy Studies for giving me this opportunity to be a part of this panel and to share my understanding of what is in this sector and what needs to be done, and also to learn from the other distinguished participants of this forum. Now, I come after talks by three practitioners of this field. My life has been that of a public servant. I've never worked officially in the sector, but given the nature of our jobs, because our jobs are broad-based, I have been over of my stints in various assignments have been interfacing with some tourist bodies and tourist entities, and particularly, I remember in my earlier days when I was an assistant commissioner in Battagram, I got a chance to start my career in these very attractive zones of Pakistan, which Aftab Saab has talked with so much passion and fondness about. I was posted in Battagram, and I was there for 2 years. I remember the PTDC hotel. I had a role to play in terms of selecting the site for the PTDC motel at Sharkul on the boundary of Mansehra and Battagram. I think it was the year 1987 or 88. I've also gone there subsequently, and it's still there, along with some another private sector entity which has come about. So in terms of just this background, I will just pick up a few points from the talk given by the earlier and sort of elaborate them. Very rightly said, Shah Saab said that it is not the job of the public sector in Pakistan to be in the driving seat for the promotion of the sector. I entirely agree with him. In fact, it's a story of neglect over the years that, while most of the policy and regulatory control in this sector was with the government, like so many other areas of endeavor, we sadly missed the boat over the years. When the world around us was, catching onto the opportunities that the world was presenting everybody with. The opportunities, the world was presenting those opportunities to everybody who could benefit. We were slow in terms of reacting and getting into the act to make use of those opportunities. So in this context, nobody mentioned the league tables. I'm so fond of, when I've been on the other panels as part of the IIPS program. I've looked at these international leagues, And the international, the league table, the ranking that is accepted as the standard is the one that done by World Economic Forum. And I think it's called the Travel and Tourism Competitive Index. Now, this index ranks about 140 countries. And it ranks it has 4 pillars: enabling environment, tourism and travel and tourism policy and enabling conditions, tourism infrastructure, and natural and cultural resources. Now, Pakistan, like so many other areas of endeavor, I have to say this, I feel disappointed about it as a Pakistani. Amongst these 140 countries, our rank in the year 2019 we stood at the 121st position with a score of 3.1 in a range, that stipulated range of 1 to 7, where 7 is best and 1 is the least, is the worst. So we 120. And then I looked in a sort of more disaggregated way. And of all the 19 countries, we're talking of 140 countries, and Pakistan is 121st position. So there are 19 other countries below Pakistan. Other than Yemen and Haiti, all other 17 countries are from Africa. So I have generally been, wherever I've spoken, although, as a proud Pakistani, I should not be taking this pessimistic tone. But, one also has to be a realist as well. And, that engagement with realism will, sort of get us the sense of where we really stand, and we are not in the world of delusions. So in terms of realism, engagement with reality, we are in the Africa League, even in the tourism sector, where with all these abundance of resources, beautiful terrain, one of the finest terrains in the world, one of the final resource endowments in the world. And I think Aftab Sahab talked about the peaks, four amongst the top peaks over 8,000 fall within the Pakistani territory, and 100 peaks over 7,000 meters. So with all this, endowment and all this good fortune in terms of what we have, we very sadly lack in terms of our performance in the league tables of the world. One of the most important that thing that comes out of this analysis is in terms of when we look at the South Asian region, they also have a disaggregated analysis in this report. Pakistan remains the least competitive country in South Asia with the least favorable safety and security record in terms of, amongst those 5 countries, Nepal, Sri Lanka, India, Bangladesh, we are the lowest in the security, although one must give credit to our institutions for this, the improvement, the great improvement that has come about over the last 4, 5, 6 years. And I'm sure that's also impacting, these good news, the stories of good things happening is partly a reflection of the improvement that has taken place in the security environment over the last 5, 6, 7 years. So this is generally, in this context, the governments have a huge role. I have a detailed, I don't have that much time, but I would urge IIPS to look at this report and sort of maybe as part of the write-up, some of these aspects that are highlighted are made part of the report that is sent by the institute to the policymakers as recommendations of the institute. Now, Pakistan has suddenly, another key thing that I want to talk about is the 18th Amendment. Prior to the 18th Amendment, the tourism was a subject dealt largely by the federal government. And the flagship of the federal government in this area was the Pakistan Tourism, PTDC, and Aftab Saab organization, which he is heading now. And all that PTDC had to show over all these years was just a few motels spread out across Pakistan. And most of these hotels were two-star, three-star. I've spent time in many of them in the northern areas. And there were few and far between, and the private sector outfits were few and far between in those times. But that was the radar, entirely controlled by the public sector. But after the 18th Amendment, the subject moved to the provincial governments. And for a number of years after 2010, I think this word chaos was mentioned by Ms. Momana. I think the situation, chaos is the word to reflect the situation for the few years after, because there was no guidance, there was no sense of where to go, there was no policy framework. And even this organization, PTDC, when I was reading for the preparation for this webinar, what I found out, sadly, this thing came to my knowledge, that this PTDC also was kind of dysfunctional for most of these years. It's so only last 2-3 years that there has been an awareness in the federal government that there's also a federal role, and the provinces have also come round to this awareness that there's some aspects. There are some aspects like visa policy, like security and standards. These are aspects where there is a role for the federal government. And it is a reflection of this new awareness that some of the bullet points that we see in Aftab Saab's presentation, that some of these things have now come into the federal purview, like building a country image, country branding. Provinces are doing also this branding, but all of the world, the countries are also selling their images as a country. So Pakistan, who will do this? I don't think the information ministries or the foreign ministry has done that job adequately. So there's some kind of a need for an agency, an entity in the federal government to undertake this part of branding of Pakistan as a choice destination for international tourists. Now, also in terms of, there's an awareness that this is a sector which is very important for this demographic dividend that we have. We are the youngest country in the world, and we have to find jobs for our people who are entering the labor force. So there's been a lot of talk of construction. Construction is also related because of linkages with real estate. But then in addition to the hardware, there's also in the services sector, there are a lot of new global opportunities for absorption of younger people. And the hotel, the hospitality sector is a great avenue for this kind of an absorption in terms of, attraction of international tourists, giving a boost to domestic tourism. The incomes have gone up. People have become, there's a growth in affluent middle class. They are looking for new opportunities for leisure. There's a new kind of demand. And this demand has to be somehow catered to. It will only become useful for the country if the enabling conditions are also there. And some of those enabling conditions in terms of coordination institutions, in terms of regulatory frameworks, in terms of, packages. I think Madam Momana talked of tax holidays, incentive packages for foreign investment. These are some of the jobs some of the activities, tasks that have to be performed by the public sector, by the federal government, by the 4 provincial governments, but in a way that is friendly to the private sector. Because most of this activity going forward has to be done by the private sector. The government sector does not have the capacity to fully capitalize on the volume, the momentum of opportunities that are there in this particular area of endeavors. तो ये मैं कहूँगा कि ये दोनों गवर्नमेंट्स की कोऑर्डिनेशन एक बहुत बड़ा इशू है. पिछले चंद सालों में कुछ डॉक्यूमेंट्स भी have come to the fore. एक टूरिज्म पॉलिसी पंजाब की आई है जिसमें कुछ लेटेस्ट जो एस्पेक्ट्स हैं they factored in, and what they say is कि कोई coordination के mechanisms are largely absent, not only between the federal and the provinces, but एक बड़ा अच्छा concept इन्होंने बताया, ये मैडम मोमना ने इंटीग्रेटेड जोन का कॉन्सेप्ट है जो पाकिस्तान में इसको आई थिंक केपीके की जो गवर्नमेंट है, आई थिंक दे आर in terms of ideas they are ahead of other provinces, although in terms of giving some kind of a recognition to tourism in the provincial domain, Punjab was in the lead in the 80s and the 90s because the tourism development TDC, Development Corporation of Punjab was in the lead. It was set up in 1987. Well, while no such entity, which a leading entity was present in any or existing in any other province of the country at that time. तो ये चीजें जो सर इनको ये जो coordination है, और इसके साथ not only coordination between the federal and the provincial governments, but this integration का जो concept है, this it should not be the Department of Tourism alone. There are other departments which have important roles to play in terms of this idea of going forward sustainable, like the forest department, like the environment department, like the roads department. ये सारे departments जो हैं, जब तक इनको कोई coordinate नहीं करेगा at the provincial level as a sector, तो ये जो sustainable concept है, where different agencies have as stakeholders are responsible for the value and the stewardship of this area. जब तक वो ये concept नहीं आएगा तो तब तक ये चीजें जो हैं, we will not be, although ideas now by and large the ideas in these new documents, new policies, जो modern practices हैं, modern ideas हैं, ये तो सारे आ गए हैं पाकिस्तान की डोमेन में. लेकिन अब implementation in terms of building the right institutions, building the right structures, I think there a lot of work still needs to be done.
Thank you.
Some is being done, some is being done, but some more needs to be done. I think I've said enough. Baki question answers, we can take this subject forward.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your discussion. आपने highlight किया कि पाकिस्तान के policy और regulatory control regarding the tourism sector. You talked about the Travel and Tourism Competitive Index and Pakistan's ranking among other countries in the world. You particularly highlighted that Pakistan stands with the African League with regards to our tourism sector and the 4 indicators which the index looks on. With regard to the policy and regulatory landscape, you talked about the 18th Amendment and the aftermath of that decision on the tourism sector, how the tourism sector was devolved to the provinces, and there was a time period of chaos and basically policy framework and coordination was missing. There was a lack of awareness among provinces regarding the importance of tourism, and very later on they finally realized the challenges of providing an enabling environment to tourism and basically the capacity of the government. You talked about coordination mechanisms and integrated tourism zones, which were also highlighted by Ms. Momna. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your discussion. And now, before we move on to our question and answer session, I would like to request Lieutenant General Harun Aslam, retired, to please present his views. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Umar, and thank you very much, everybody, for such wonderful talks you have given. I have not prepared my part of the speech, but I'll just, what I have gleaned from whatever you have said, I'd like to comment on that. First of all, you see, it goes like this, that we have to put our house in order. our media managers or our embassies have to sell something which has to be good. So if we have in Islamabad, there are processions, white processions with our religious extremists going around on rampage. So what image do we leave for the country abroad? So we have to, become more tourist friendly through building our image. Pakistan has a serious image problem, and which was reflected in a comment by an Australian player. I'm forgetting his name. He said, I was pleasantly shocked to see Pakistan is just like a normal country. So therefore, we have an image problem. This is one. I'll randomly take on the points. And these are my views. You can always differ with me. Now, Dr. Shujat talked about the 18th Amendment and the obligations and obligations of the provincial government. In my reckoning, I think that the division, the administrative division and district have to play a great role, because they regulate they have to create the enabling environment. Let's take Murray. Now it's a district. What's the problem? That nobody has ever taught those people who are working there what is hospitality management. Is there a single institute which is teaching hospitality management, at least courtesy and how the tourists are to be dealt with in Murray? No. They only know how to make money. And that's what I've been told. They have been taught to them. So therefore, I think I have always weird kind of ideas. I think that having a uniform syllabus is wrong. I went to Singapore, and in their high school, I got to know through their planning division that in their high school, they teach 2 optional subjects. One of these is essential. One is hospitality management and other is retail sales, because that is the occupation the dropouts take when they leave the high school or college, the 12th class. So therefore, I think, take example of Naran. Now we talk a lot about the environmental issues. People throw down around the garbage and all. I think this holds good for Naran. Have a good tourist police. Enforcement, who's going to enforce that? The district management, the police there. There should be strict penalties for that. For northern areas, they should levy taxes on the tourists. हम अभी ये टोल टैक्स देते हैं मोटरवे पे, why not in northern areas? Collect करें और उसी को environment पे खर्च करें. And we have to be tourist friendly, plus we have to regulate tourism also. तो मैं समझता हूँ कि शुजात साहब इस पे बेहतर कमेंट कर सकेंगे कि डिविजनल कमिश्नर और अभी why can't we have अभी फॉर एग्जांपल मनसेरा जैसी जगह, अब्टाबाद जैसी जगह, ये गिलगित जैसी जगह, हम क्यों नहीं डिविजनल टूरिज्म ऑफिसर होता या डिस्ट्रिक्ट टूरिज्म ऑफिसर? मरी में तो डिस्ट्रिक्ट टूरिज्म ऑफिसर होना चाहिए, जिस तरह के डिस्ट्रिक्ट हेल्थ ऑफिसर होता है डिस्ट्रिक्ट. सो हम सब चीज जो है ना, देखिए पॉलिसीज मैंने देखा है, वेयर हैव आई ट्राइड टू व्हाट रिसर्च करते रहते हैं हम. इतनी बेहतरीन पॉलिसीज हैं टूरिज्म पे, हेल्थ पे, कागज भरे हुए हैं. लगता है कि ये तो अमेरिका में भी ऐसी पॉलिसीज नहीं हो. द प्रॉब्लम इज ऑफ इम्प्लीमेंटेशन. वी डू नॉट इम्प्लीमेंट. सो मेरा ख्याल है पाकिस्तान में 2 tier अप्रोच चाहिए. एक पॉलिसी मेकिंग पे ऊपर से प्रोविंशियल गवर्नमेंट, फेडरल गवर्नमेंट, ज्यादातर प्रोविंशियल गवर्नमेंट, नीचे से डिस्ट्रिक्ट एंड डिविजनल मैनेजमेंट. दे आर कस्टोडियन ऑफ देयर डिस्ट्रिक्ट. अगर एक डिस्ट्रिक्ट में होता ही टूरिज्म है तो उसकी स्पेशलिटी होनी चाहिए. और मैं समझता हूं, और ये मैं बड़ा इस पे जोर भी लगाता रहता हूं, बताया भी है कि हमारे जो भी टूरिस्ट डेस्टिनेशंस हैं वहां के हाई स्कूलों में, मैट्रिक में आप ये टूरिज्म, हॉस्पिटैलिटी मैनेजमेंट का, टूरिज्म का एक सब्जेक्ट डालें ताकि उनको अवेयरनेस तो. एक बच्चे ने मैट्रिक करके अगर एक वेटर लगना है या उसने तरक्की करके वहां रिसेप्शनिस्ट लगना है तो उसको ट्रेनिंग कराइए. हम बहुत सेंट्रलाइज तरीके से चल रहे हैं. हम हर चीज को सेंट्रलाइज करते हैं. میں سمجھتا ہوں کہ جیسے نئے صوبے بننے چاہیے نا, ہمیں امپاور کرنا چاہیے ڈویژن کمشنر کو اور ڈسٹرکٹ مینجمنٹ کو کہ اپنے اپنے علاقے میں جو ٹورسٹ ڈیسٹینیشنز ہیں ان کو بہتر کریں. کچھ پوائنٹس آئے تھے یہ آری ڈیولپمنٹ کے بارے میں. میں یہاں آئی جسٹ لائک ٹو ایڈ ہیئر دیٹ عمارت گروپ جو ہے دوز آر پائنیئرز ان ریہیبلیٹیٹنگ دی امیج آف real estate development, because you know it gives job opportunities to millions of people, and it was demonized earlier saying that ye property dealer or ye to property dealer hai. So now there is a formal education in National University of Science and Technology and Central Punjab University, where they are giving certifications in real estate science, and in Central Punjab University, they are giving a bachelor's BS degrees in real estate development. Real estate development has to go along with tourism development. ایک بڑا خوبصورت دکھائی تھی تصویر, شاید رانا صاحب نے دکھائی تھی کہ ہمارا کنکریٹ جنگلز بن رہے. ابھی میں دیکھ رہا تھا کہ میں بھی گیا ہوں سوئٹزرلینڈ, تو ہمارا آرکیٹیکچر پہ بھی کنٹرول ہونا چاہیے, وہ بلڈنگ کنٹرول ہونا چاہیے. ابھی یہ تو کرے گی ڈسٹرکٹ مینجمنٹ کو دیں اور یا تو میرا خیال ہے کہ زیادہ فوکس ہمارا اس چیز پہ ہونا چاہیے کہ اس کو کیسے کنٹرول کرنا ہے, ریگولیٹ کرنا ہے. گورنمنٹ کا صرف ایک کام ہے کہ وہ فیسیلیٹیٹ کرے, ریگولیٹ کرے اور فیسیلیٹیٹ کرے اینڈ لیو اٹ ٹو دا پرائیویٹ سیکٹر. مجھے بڑا دکھ ہوا سر کہ ہم 140 میں سے 121 ہیں اور ہم کہتے ہیں کہ وی آر ہیل آف ٹورسٹ ڈیسٹینیشن. یہ ہمارے لیے لامع فکریہ ہے. question answer session. Do we have any questions?
Yes, sir. Okay, sir. Moving on to the question and answers. Our first question is basically a comment that we are a are we a tourist friendly nation, and is our society tourist friendly? So I would like to request Mr. Irshad to please comment on that.
Please repeat it again the question, please.
میں یہ کوشچن آیا ہے سمپل سا, ہمارے آن لائن کوشچنز آتے ہیں تو کوشچن آیا ہے آر وی اے ٹورسٹ فرینڈلی نیشن, اور ہم سب سے کمنٹ لے لیتے ہیں. آپ بتائیے.
We are friendly. Yes, we are friendly. I think whoever come to Pakistan, they are taking very good feedback from Pakistan and staff attitude, because work for the 5-star hotels like a Bourbon, like a PC Lahore, PC Karachi. Whenever they come into Pakistan, they are scared to come to Pakistan. ابھی دیکھیں جو میچز ہوئے ہیں, ہمارے کرکٹ کے میچز ہوئے ہیں, پوری دنیا کو میسج گیا پاکستان سیفسٹ کنٹری. اور جو میرے خیال میں جو ہم سروس پرووائڈ کرتے ہیں کسٹمر کو, I was Germany, I was UK, I was America, I think we are providing the best service to the client and safest country of the world.
جی رانا صاحب, sir, what are your comments? Are we tourist friendly nation?
Sir, I must say that Pakistan is absolutely a tourist-friendly country, and there are many vlogs and many experiences shared by foreign visitors on media and social media, where they have had a great experience of hospitality in this country. Rather, we are so hospitable that we never charge to foreigners for the food, for accommodation, and for other services. اور وہ بیچارے حیران ہو جاتے ہیں کہ ہم کدھر آ گئے, کس ملک میں آ گئے کہ لوگ ہم سے پیسے ہی نہیں لیتے. ایک گورے کا میں نے ولاگ دیکھا, وہ پشاور میں گھوم رہا ہے, اس کو لوگ کھانا بھی فری کھلا رہے ہیں, پشاوری چپل بھی فری دے دی, ٹوپی بھی فری دے دی, اکاموڈیشن بھی وہ کسی دوست کے گھر میں. تو پاکستان از سچ اے کنٹری. جیسے آپ نے پہلے عرض کیا, پرسیپشن کا مسئلہ ہے, ہمیں اس کے اوپر کام کرنا ہے. اگر ہم اپنا پرسیپشن ٹھیک کرنے میں کامیاب ہو جائیں, آئی تھنک پاکستان جیسا فرینڈلی کنٹری دنیا میں نہیں ہے لوگوں کو فارنرز کے لیے سیر و سیاحت کے حوالے سے. اٹس اے ونڈرفل کنٹری. اور لوگ دور دراز کے علاقوں میں لوگوں کو جو خطرہ ہے وہ ہمارے لوگوں سے نہیں ہے, وہ جو ایکسٹرنل تھریٹس تھے, ہمارے دہشت گردی کے واقعات اور یہ وہ, اس وجہ سے ایک پرسیپشن بنا ہے, اور وہ کافی حد تک ابھی دور بھی ہو گیا ہے, کیونکہ بہت سارے اقدامات کیے گئے ہیں جب سے یہ فینسنگ خاص طور پہ ہمارے ویسٹرن بارڈر پہ ہوئی ہے. آپ نے دیکھا ہوگا کہ یہ واقعات سارے کم ہوئے ہیں. اور اس کا بڑا ایک امپیکٹ ہوا ہے ہمارے اوور آل سیکیورٹی کے اوپر. ابھی ہمیں ذرا اپنا پازیٹیو جو امیج ہے اس کو بوسٹ کرنے کے لیے زیادہ کوشش کرنا ہے. آئی تھنک لوگ بہت ہی اچھا.
جی بہت سے. ایک میں سینسٹیو چیز ابھی آپ سے پوچھتا ہوں, بیکاز وی آر ویری فرینک اینڈ اوپن ان آور ڈسکشنز. دیکھیے وین وی ور, یہ ڈاکٹر شجاعت اور رانا صاحب, ارشاد صاحب اس پہ دے ول کنکر ود می دیٹ یہ ہم یہاں ہپیز آیا کرتے تھے وین دے یوز ٹو ٹریول بائی روڈ. تو یہاں پورا اس پنڈی جیسی جگہ یہ بھری ہوتی تھی ٹورسٹ سے, اور یہ چھوٹے جتنے موٹیلز ہوٹلز سب بک ریزروڈ ہوتے تھے, مطلب آکوپائڈ ہوتے تھے. ایک جو اپروچ ہے وین یورپین ٹورسٹ کمز, ہی از لوکنگ ٹو ایوننگ میں, آئی وانٹ ٹو, میں بڑا فرینکلی کہوں گا, ہی وانٹس ٹو این الکوہولک ڈرنک. تو اس کو بتایا جاتا ہے کہ جی یہ تو نہیں اویلیبل. تو جو ایک ٹورسٹ کی بیسک نیڈس ہوتی ہیں, دوز آر, کراچی از لٹل لبرل آئی ہیو سین, بٹ وین یو کم اپ نارتھ یہ بہت زیادہ اس پہ ایک پابندی وغیرہ ہے. تو میں اب کوشچن جو میرا ہے, از اٹ این امپیڈمنٹ ٹو دی گروتھ آف ٹورزم؟ کیا یہ ہکپ کریٹ کرتی ہے؟ شاہ صاحب آپ بتائیے, پھر میں سب سے ویوز لیتا.
ہمارے جتنے بھی 4 to 5 star ہوٹل ہیں, دے گاٹ دا لیکر لائسنس. جو بھی کسٹمر ہم سے ڈرنک و ریکویسٹ کرتا ہے, یس وی سیل ان دا رومس. ایون تو 1-2 ہوٹلز ہیں انہوں نے اسپیشل بار بنائی ہوئی ہیں فلورس کے اوپر فار دا فارنرس. تو میرے خیال یہ چیز پہلے کافی مس ہوتی تھی. نا گورنمنٹ نے الاؤ کیا ہوا ہے کہ فارنرس کو ان کا پاسپورٹ دیکھیں, ان کو ڈرنک وغیرہ سرو کریں کمروں کے اندر. بٹ
ڈاکٹر شجاعت سر, آپ کچھ کہنا چاہ رہے تھے؟
میں سر یہ بیچ میں یہ تھوڑا سا ڈسٹربنس آ گئی, تو آئی تھنک مجھے دوبارہ اس نے ریکنیکٹ کیا. وہ جو پہلے والی بات تھی وہ بالکل میں آپ سے اگری کرتا ہوں کہ وہ جو آپ نے بات کی, کہ میں خود یہ پوائنٹ جو آپ نے یو پریمپٹڈ می, میں یہ بات کرنا چاہتا تھا کہ پاکستان واز مچ فرینڈلیئر ٹورڈس ٹورزم بیفور 1977. اور یہ دیز ور مائی اسکول کالج ڈیز ان لاہور. تو لاہور کے اوپر آپ کو اسٹریٹس کے اوپر ایون ان دا سمر, ان دا ہاٹیسٹ ڈیز آف سمر, آپ کو یو وڈ فائنڈ ینگ ٹورسٹ, فیمیل اینڈ میل, with the bags, cotton bags slung over their shoulders. عام آپ کو مال روڈ پر نظر آتے تھے. ایک میں بس دیکھا کرتا تھا روٹیل ٹورز انٹرنیشنل ہوٹل کے سامنے, وہ ایک بس آتی تھی جو شاید اس وقت یہ افغانستان میں بھی بہت از آلسو واٹر شیڈ ڈیولپمنٹ. تو وہ بس آتی تھی, جرمنی سے آتی تھی, اور وہ جرمن ہوتی تھی, اور آ کے وہ ہر ویک کے اوپر 2 دن ہوتے تھے. ہم ایک پیٹرن تھا, ہم دیکھا کرتے تھے, بس یہاں باہر لاہور میں انٹرنیشنل ہوٹل کے سامنے کھڑی ہوتی تھی, اور وہ ٹورسٹ جو ہے وہ جاتے تھے, اور وہ آتی تھی جرمنی سے, اور وہ ناردرن ایریاز تک جاتی تھی. موٹر وے بھی نہیں ہوتا تھا اس زمانے میں ہمارے. traveling along the GT road and ہماری narrow roads up beyond even Rawalpindi narrow roads, اب تو things are vastly different. تو وہ ایک open سا culture تھا. بہت ساری چیزیں, جو بہت ساری باتیں کی, وہ چیزیں بھی اس وقت relatively easily available تھیں, جو اب شاید ماحول وہ نہیں رہا. تو یہ بہت بڑی, میرا خیال ہے یہ گلوبل, اگر ہم نے گلوبل کیپٹلائز کرنا ہے اپرچونٹیز کو, تو یہ بیریئر ہے ہمارا, کلچرل بیریئر ہے. یہ ہمیں کلچرلی ایک ہمارا اپنی ڈیسیجن ہے, ہمارے اپنا وے آف لائف کا ڈیسیجن ہے, یہ کیسے ہم اس کو دیکھتے ہیں اور بیلنس کو ایسے کہاں کرتے ہیں. دس از اپ ٹو
یہ بیلنس جو آپ نے بات کی نا ڈاکٹر صاحب, میں اس میں ایک وہ ایڈ آن کرنا چاہوں گا. ملیشیا ہمارے سامنے ماڈل ہے. دیکھیے وہاں ملیشیا میں دنیا کا سب سے بڑا کرت کا کمپٹیشن ہوتا ہے, بٹ ون کین گو اینڈ بائی وائن اور بیئر اور سم تھنگ. میں ویسے اسٹارٹلی آپ کو بتا رہا ہوں, وہاں جمعے کو جگہ نہیں ملتی مسجد میں. جمعے کے بچے بچیاں سب جمعہ پڑھتے ہیں, نمازی بھی ہیں اور ٹورزم بھی ہے. سو وی ہیو ٹو بی, یہ جو ہم نے unnecessary ایک گریونسز رکھے ہوئے نا اگینسٹ فیو تھنگس, آئی تھنک دے. اچھا, میں ایک شجاعت صاحب آپ سے, میں نے جو ایک پوائنٹ کیا تھا کہ ڈسٹرکٹ مینجمنٹ اور جو ڈویژنل مینجمنٹ ہے, اس کا رول زیادہ نہیں بنتا آج کل. ہم ہر چیز لمپ کر دیتے ہیں, وہ جی پروونشل گورنمنٹ اور پالیسی اور اس پہ.
یہ سر یہ جو ہے یہ بات آپ کی بالکل انٹائرلی اگری وتھ یو. یہ دنیا جہان میں یہ ساری چیزیں جو ہیں یہ جن ملکوں کی آپ نے بات کی, سوئٹزرلینڈ, یہ یورپین کنٹری, یہ ساری لوکل گورنمنٹس کے پاس چیزیں ہیں. یہ سارا ریگولیٹری فریم ورک لوکل گورنمنٹس کے پاس ہے. یہ جو میں نے بات کی انٹیگریشن جو ہوتی ہے, انٹیگریشن وہ لوکل لیول پہ ہی ہو سکتی ہے. تو یہ جو اب یہ تھنکنگ آ گئی ہے, یہ جو ڈاکومنٹ میں نے پڑھا, یہ جو میں جس کی بات کروں شاید آفتاب صاحب نے بھی اس میں کنٹریبیوٹ کیا ہوا ہے, یہ جو پنجاب کی تھنک ٹینکس نے بنایا ہوا ہے, تو وہ اس میں وہ ایک ٹورسٹ کمشنر کی بات کرتے ہیں کہ جس طرح ہمارے ڈپارٹمنٹس بن جاتے ہیں تو ان ڈپارٹمنٹس کی ایک نیچے ایکسیکیوشن کی آرم ہوتی ہے, ریگولیٹری آرم ہوتی ہے. تو وہاں ان دیٹ ڈاکومنٹ آئی سو ایک پرپوزل ہے کہ پنجاب میں ایک ٹورسٹ کمشنر ہونا چاہیے. آئیڈیا ہے کہ ایک ریگولیٹری امپلیمنٹیشن اتھارٹی ہونی چاہیے جس کے پاس امپلیمنٹیشن, جس کے ساتھ جس کے پاس لا ہو, اور وہ لا جو ہے وہ آپ کو امپاور کرے, یہ ریگولیٹ کر دے کہ اسٹینڈرڈس کے, کہ اگر آپ نے کسی ہوٹل کو آپ نے لائسنس دینا تو وہ کیا کیا چیزیں ہوں گی جو وہ ہوٹل کی ذمہ داری پوری کرے گا. اگر آپ نے کسی ٹورسٹ آپریٹر کو دینا تو کیا کیا ہوگا. ٹرانسپورٹ کو لنکیجز جو ہیں جو سسٹینیبل بنائیں گی, وہ لنکیجز کا رول I think that is the best level جہاں پہ یہ لنکیجز کریٹ ہو سکتی ہیں. یہ پروونشل لیول پہ نہیں ہو سکتی.
We have more questions.
Sir, we have another question regarding Pakistan's deserts. So the question is that Pakistan's deserts are unexplored for tourism and most tourists visit northern areas. So what can be done regarding increasing tourism in the desert areas, particularly in the colder weather?
Rana Sahab, would you like to comment on this, please?
جی سر, جو ہمارے ڈیزرٹس کے علاقے ہیں, خاص طور پہ جو چولستان کا اور تھر پارکر کا ڈیزرٹ ہے, they are very very interesting tourist sites for foreigners and as well as for domestic tourists. اور خاص طور پہ جو ونٹر کا ٹائم ہوتا ہے جب نارتھ میں آلموسٹ آف سیزن چل رہا ہوتا ہے ٹورزم کا, ان دنوں میں بہت ساری ایکٹیویٹی ان ڈیزرٹ ایریاز میں ٹورزم پوائنٹ آف ویو سے ہو سکتی ہے اگر ہم اس کو پراپرلی آرگنائز کریں اور وہ پروڈکٹ بنائیں. جس طرح سے فار ایگزامپل اکراس دا بارڈر انڈیا میں راجستھان کا جو ڈیزرٹ ہے وہ ان کا ٹاپ آف دا لسٹ ٹورسٹ اٹریکشن ہے. آئی تھنک سب سے زیادہ جو ریونیو انڈیا ٹورزم میں کماتا ہے وہ اپنے راجستھان کے ڈیزرٹ سے کماتا ہے رادر فرام ادر پلیسز. اور انہوں نے وہاں پہ جو پرانے پیلسز تھے ان کو ہیریٹیج ہوٹلز میں کنورٹ کیا ہے, جو ڈیزرٹ کا کلچر ہے اس کو آرگنائز کیا, اس کو پروموٹ کیا ہے, اور وہاں پہ ایسا ایک چارم پیدا کر دیا کہ پوری پروڈکٹ ٹورسٹ کو ایک ایکسپیرینس کرنے کو ملتا. تو ہم نے بہت ساری ریسٹرکشنز کی وجہ سے somehow, کیونکہ ہمارے ہاں ایجنسیز جو ایسی ہیں سیکورٹیز کی, وہ فارینرز کو تو ڈیزرٹ میں جانا ہی نہیں دیتے. یو نیڈ اے اسپیشل پرمٹ ٹو گو ان چولستان اور تھر پارکر ایریا اگر آپ فارینر ہیں. ایون پاکستانی جو ہیں وہ بھی اپ ٹو سرٹن لمٹ جا سکتے ہیں, آگے نہیں جا سکتے. حالانکہ ان دونوں ڈیزرٹس کو جو ہمارے پاس along the border انڈیا کے موجود ہیں, ان کو ایک بہت اچھے طریقے سے ایک ڈیزرٹ ٹورزم کا پروگرام بنا کے ڈیولپ کرنا چاہیے. سوائے ایک پنجاب گورنمنٹ کے ایک وہ ڈیزرٹ جیپ ریلی کی, اور کوئی پروڈکٹ آج تک ہم نے ڈیولپ نہیں کی. اس میں بہت سارا اسکوپ ہمارے پاس موجود ہے, اور ایک اچھا ایک روزگار کا اور انکم جنریشن کا ذریعہ بھی ہم وہاں کی کمیونٹیز کو دے سکتے ہیں جو بیچارے بہت ہی ہینڈ ٹو ماؤتھ ہیں انکم کے معاملے میں. اس کے اوپر ہمیں کام کرنا چاہیے.
بہاولپور میں ابھی کوئی ایک ہمارے عزیز گئے تھے, باہر سے آئے تھے یو کے سے, تو بہاولپور دیکھنے گئے. He was pretty amused, pretty impressed. But what he said was that there is no good hotel there. So یہ بھی
بہاولپور کے اندر جو 3-4 پیلسز ہیں, میں کہتا ہوں انہیں کو ہیریٹیج ہوٹل بنا دیں تو وہ ایک بہت بڑی ٹورسٹ اٹریکشن بن جائے گا. دربار محل ہے, گلزار محل ہے, نور محل ہے, یہ 3 شاندار قسم کے ہیریٹیج ہوٹل وہاں پہ بن سکتے ہیں اگر آرمی اجازت دے دے تو.
میں سر کچھ بات کرنا
جی, وہ اصل میں آرمی نے خرید لیے تھے.
آرمی کو چاہیے
ایک اور ہوٹل ہے رانا صاحب, ایک ہوٹل بن سکتا ہے وہ جو پیلس ہے صادق گڑھ پیلس کو کنورٹ کریں. اٹ کین بی اے ہیوج ہوٹل. آئی تھنک اس پہ آپ کا ڈپارٹمنٹ جو ہے نا اس پہ نظر رکھے, بہت بڑی جگہ ہے وہ. جی آپ ڈاکٹر صاحب کچھ کہنا چاہ رہے تھے.
मैं भी रहा हूँ, आई बीन पोस्टेड इन भावलनगर फॉर 2 long years, तो मैं वहाँ इन चीज़ों को देखता रहा हूँ। तो मुझे पता था, भावलनगर के एक साहब थे, मुझे जेहन में नाम नहीं आते, वो एक प्राइवेट एक 3-4 nights का एक टूर लेके जाते थे चोलिस्तान में। तो वो मैं लोगों से पूछा करता था, बल्कि मैं भी कहता था कि मैं भी जाऊंगा, मौका मुझे नहीं मिला। तो चोलिस्तान की म्यूजिक है, फिर वो एक ठंडी वो रात को वो पूरा पैराफर्नेलिया लेके जाते थे, लेकिन वो बड़ी एलीट एक्टिविटी थी, वो बड़ी कॉस्टली एक्टिविटी है। अब भी शायद मैं तो बात कर रहा हूँ 1997-98 की, तो अब पता नहीं इसको किसी ने वो दैट कॉन्सेप्ट वाज देयर, वो इम्प्लीमेंट भी होता था, चंद लोगों के लिए होता था, वो जो कॉस्ट दे सकते थे वो कर सकते थे। इसको किसी ने मैथ लेवल पे ऊपर मिडिल क्लास के लिए, पता नहीं इस पे किसी, शायद आफ्ताब साहब की नॉलेज में, मुझे उस आदमी का नाम भी याद नहीं आ रहा, वो जो तो ये काम करता था वो। तो अब ये पोटेंशियल तो बहुत है।
नहीं डॉक्टर साहब, भावलपुर में आई हैव बीन कोर कमांडर भावलपुर, तो भावलपुर को मैंने अच्छी तरह देखा है। इट हैज ट्रेमेंडस पोटेंशियल। आपकी एक इंटरनेशनल फ्लाइट वहां आए, अच्छा होटल हो, सो पूरा डेजर्ट इज सो फैसिनेटिंग, इतना कुछ है दिखाने को कि लेकिन उमर, एनी अदर क्वेश्चन प्लीज?
Yes, sir, we have a last question related to real estate development. The question says that real estate development is restricted to urban areas, and there is hardly any involvement of real estate sector in the planned development of tourism sites. So I would like Ms. Momna to give your views on that.
Thank you, Umar. Real estate development, I would like to, add on to this. Real estate development is not just restricted to urban areas. It is restricted to areas with enough infrastructure. And unfortunately, that's restricted to urban areas. However, there's a lot of tourism real estate development happening up north, especially. But again, people are taking that gamble. It's a risk because the infrastructure still hasn't reached those places. If we're talking Ratabad Lake or other places like that, Chitral, unfortunately, that's the case. It's not just restricted, but infrastructure needs to, real estate will move as the infrastructure moves.
Yeah, may I like to add that, real estate development is not based on patriotism alone. You can't, a good Pakistani and I am going to prepare to risk my money. It doesn't happen. So there have to be enabling environment by the state. And the representation of state is done by the government. Umar, before we wind up, just get a parting comment from everyone.
Yes, I would like to request a parting comment from everyone. We can start by Mr. Aftab Rahman Rana, sir, please. Your parting comment.
Thank you, Umar. I think it was a very useful and eye-opening discussion because the diverse experience shared by all of us was quite useful for moving on to find out some good way forward. I 100% agree with Jana Haroon about the management of tourism in the present scenario. I think it is very, very crucial. As I highlighted that, yes, 18th Amendment, I think, was putting tourism in a provincial domain, I think was not a very good decision because it was earlier in the concurrent place and provincial governments were all open to do anything in their province in terms of tourism development. There was no bar. जैसे कि Dr. Shujat ने भी बताया, 1987 में पंजाब ने अपनी tourism corporation separate establish कर ली थी and they started on various projects. तो 18th Amendment ने जो फेडरल का जो रोल था उसको बिल्कुल ब्लॉक कर दिया और 10 साल में 2010 के बाद अब तक PTDC was left alone, no funding, no support, और वो बिल्कुल बेड़ा गर्क हो गया जो थोड़ा बहुत टूरिज्म पहले था अभी बिल्कुल नए सिरे से हमें दोबारा इसको रीऑर्गेनाइज किया है. आई एम थैंकफुल टू द IK गवर्नमेंट, उन्होंने बड़ा कीन इंटरेस्ट लिया और एक कोऑर्डिनेशन मैकेनिज्म भी हमने बिल्डअप कर लिया है. अभी प्रेजेंटली जो PTDC का बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टर है 6 के 6 रीजन्स के टूरिज्म सेक्रेटरी उसके मेंबर हैं, चारों सूबों के भी, GB का भी और कश्मीर का भी. तो हमारा एक बड़ा अच्छा कोऑर्डिनेशन मैकेनिज्म अभी बन गया है और बहुत सारी चीजें हम सिंक्रोनाइज तरीके से लेके आगे चल रहे हैं. अब जरूरत इस चीज की है ایک تو ہم اپنے جو ٹورزم کی مینجمنٹ ہے جیسے جنرل صاحب نے کہا اس کو ڈسٹرکٹ لیول پہ لے جانے کی ضرورت ہے. جب تک ڈسٹرکٹ گورنمنٹ سے انوالو نہیں ہوگی آپ کی جو بھی نیشنل یا پروونشل پالیسیز ہیں وہ دھری کی دھری رہ جائیں گی. امپلیمنٹیشن کا ہونا ایٹ دا ڈسٹرکٹ لیول, اور وہاں پہ ہمیں ڈی ایم او بنانے پڑیں گے, ڈیسٹینیشن مینجمنٹ آرگنائزیشن, جس میں تمام کی لوکل لیول کی جو آرگنائزیشن ہے وہ انوالو ہوں اور وہ فریکوینٹلی اپنے ڈیسیژن میکنگ کریں اور اپنے کام کو ڈسٹرکٹ لیول کے اوپر اسٹرینتھن کریں. دوسرا جو آسپیکٹ ہے جو ہمارے سب کے ڈسکشن میں سامنے آیا کہ ہمیں بہت زیادہ کوشش کرنا پڑے گی کیپیسٹی بلڈنگ آف دا اسٹیک ہولڈرز, ایجوکیشن کی, وہ ٹورسٹ کی بھی کرنا ہے کہ وہ رسپانسبل ٹورسٹ بن جائے, اور انڈسٹری کے اسٹیک ہولڈرز کی بھی کرنا ہے کہ وہ سیکھیں دنیا کہاں کی کہاں پہنچ گئی ہے. ابھی تک ہم بیک گیئر کے اوپر چل رہے ہیں اور پیچھے کی طرف ہی جا رہے ہیں. ہمیں آگے بڑھنا ہے اور اپنے آپ کو تیار کرنا ہے جو نئے ڈائمینشنز ہیں ٹورزم کے اس کے اوپر کام کرنے کے لیے, اور پاکستان کو ایک اچھا ٹورسٹ ڈیسٹینیشن بنانے کے لیے. ہاسپٹلٹی سیکٹر ہمارا کی ایلیمنٹ ہے اور اس کے اوپر ہمیں بہت زیادہ فوکس کرنا پڑے گا, کیونکہ اگر یہ ٹھیک لائن پہ نہیں چلے گا یہ ڈیمیج کر دے گا. جیسے ڈیمیج ہو رہے ہیں, چھوٹے چھوٹے ہوٹل بنتے چلے جا رہے ہیں لیکن وہ ایسے ہوٹل نہیں ہے جو کوالٹی انفراسٹرکچر دیں. تو لوگوں کو سکھانا واٹ از ایکچولی دا ریئل ہاسپٹیلٹی از, اس کے اوپر ہمیں بہت کام کرنے کی ضرورت ہے. انشاءاللہ مل کے ہم آگے بڑھیں گے تو بہت کچھ تبدیلی لا سکتے ہیں. تھینک یو.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Over to you, Mr. Rishad.
By the grace of Almighty Allah, things are getting better in Pakistan. As you know that Marriott, Marriott Courtyard, Radisson, Hilton, Movenpick, Intercontinental, Hilton, they're all dying to come to Pakistan. اور اب یہ بتاتا چلوں کہ اگر ہم 3 اسٹار ہوٹل ایک بناتے ہیں دیٹ کاسٹ اباؤٹ 45 to 50 lakh rupees. اگر 4 اسٹار ہوٹل بناتے ہیں اٹ کاسٹ یو 1 crore 25 lakh. اگر 5 اسٹار ہوٹل بناتے ہیں لائک ہلٹن لائک اے میرٹ اٹ کاسٹ یو 2 crore پر روم. میری یہ ریکویسٹ ہے کہ گورنمنٹ کو چاہیے کہ ایک تو انڈسٹری کا درجہ دے, اور دوسرا گورنمنٹ کو چاہیے کہ جو اکوپمنٹ ہے جو باہر سے لگایا جاتا ہے اس میں ڈیوٹی فری کرے. بیکاز آپ کو پتا ہے پاکستان میں ہوٹل بڑے کم تھے. اشوان صاحب نے ہوٹل بنایا, واری نے ہوٹل بنایا ہے. کیونکہ ہوٹل بنانے کے بہت بڑا دل چاہیے. گورنمنٹ فیسلیٹ نہیں کر رہا, گورنمنٹ کو چاہیے فیسلیٹ کرے. اور دوسرا میں نے یہ کہنا تھا کہ جو مری ہے دیر آر ہوٹل اسپراؤٹ آؤٹ لائک اے مشروم. ہوٹل بنتا جا رہا, ہوٹل بنتا جا رہا, بٹ یو کانٹ انٹر ان دا ہوٹل. جیسے کہ بھی جن صاحب کہہ رہے تھے کہ جو ڈسٹرکٹ ایڈمنسٹریشن ہے دے شوڈ اسٹاپ انف ہوٹلز. آپ ہوٹل باہر لے کے آئے, ناٹ جسٹ آپ وہاں دیکھیں آپ 1 گھنٹہ لگتا ہے ڈاؤن ٹاؤن مری میں ہوتے ہوئے. ابھی جو بھاولپور کی بات کی جن صاحب نے, یس 4 محل بنے ہوئے ہیں. وی شوڈ کم ٹو دا ہوٹلز ایٹ لیسٹ جتنے بھی سنبھالے ہوئے, آئی وانٹ مینشن دا نیم, ایسے 2 تو دے دیں کم از پرائیویٹ سیکٹر کو. اور ہمارا فلیٹی گرینڈ ہوٹل آ رہا ہے انشاءاللہ ول اوپن ان منتھ آف نومبر. لیکن اتنے خوبصورت ہے, مجھے پتا ہے کہ کور کمانڈر صاحب اپنا جنرل صاحب کور کمانڈر تھے اپنا وہاں بھاولپور کے. ایک دفعہ مجھے آفر کیا جب صاحب اگر انٹرسٹڈ ہے ہم آپ کو پیلس دے دیتے ہیں. تو لیکن اس وقت حالات اس قسم تھے, لیکن وی کانٹ ٹیک اٹ. تو میرا کہنے کا مطلب ہے کہ تھنگز آر گیٹنگ بیٹر, اور گورنمنٹ کو چاہیے کہ جو فارنر آ رہے ہیں ان کو فیسلیٹ کرے, جو فارن انویسٹمنٹ کر رہے ہیں ان کو زیادہ سہولتیں دیں, زیادہ ہوٹلز آئیں. جو انٹرنیشنل جو ہمارے پاس وہ آ رہی ہیں اپنا انٹرنیشنل ہوٹل آ رہے ہیں ہمارے پاس, تو ان کو فیسلیٹ کرے. تھینک یو.
Thank you, sir. Over to Ms. Momna Rizwan, your parting comments.
Thank you. Just to hammer down on the earlier point, an emergency approach to resolving issues where all stakeholders are being met, one body where everybody is sitting and everybody gets to have a voice. It's a huge country. There's huge potential. Tourism would grow no matter what we do. The quality of what will grow and whether it would be a mushroom growth or a plant growth depends on the decisions that we're going to collectively take. So as a developer, as a stakeholder, we need to be heard, and we want swift decision making.
Thank you, Ms. Momna. Sir, I would like Dr. Shujaat Ali, I would like you to give your parting comments.
Umar, tremendous potential in this area in terms of getting a share in the growth of the world in these activities. Tremendous potential, but as everybody has highlighted, underscored, capacity building across a very wide swathe of activities is needed, and for that to happen, ये जो emergency वाला concept है, I do not know implementable किस हद तक है. Maybe we could do it in COVID, but ये under normal circumstances ये कैसे होगा? I think ये सोचने की बात है. I think इसमें not only जल साहब ने तो सिर्फ administration government की बात की. The real drivers of the country in a democracy are the politicians, or we basically look up to these priorities that are set up at the political level. This kind of an awareness कि ये इसकी potential कितना है, or in terms of satisfying people, giving them jobs and opportunities, ये I think ये political level का challenge भी बहुत बड़ा challenge है पाकिस्तान के लिए.
Thank you, sir. I would like to request General Haroon to present his parting comments.
Thank you very much, Omar. I would just like to thank everyone, the panelists, eminent panelists, and I think this has been one of the most interesting webinars we had, because what we'll do is that we do draw certain conclusions and then recommendations, and they will be floated to the people who are the decision makers. And that is what Iqbal Institute of Policy Studies does. The number of points covered, and just now the last comment from Dr. Shujat was about the political level, that what is their kind of involvement. You see, there are two kinds of politicians as relevant to the tourism industry. One belonging to those areas. If somebody coming from Naran and they are public representatives, and certainly they should be taken on board. They should rather give patronage. And then other is the governmental level. There are tourism minister and all. So, and don't take me wrong, but we have to actually, the people, the intelligentsia, the government servants, they have also to play a role to involve them and to guide them also. They are politicians. They will have a different mindset, but they have to be drawn into the positive aspect of tourism. And once again, thank you very much for your wholehearted participation. Over to you, Omar.
Thank you, sir. And I would like to thank all our participants for taking out time, their precious time, and presenting their views. Glad to have you on our panel. And that's all from this. Thank you, everyone. Allah Hafiz.
Khuda Hafiz. Assalamu alaikum.